Welcome, welcome, welcome. This could be another special podcast. This is the Dad Podcast. Dad's here. I want to bring a special guest on, not only because I'm a lover of spicy foods, but she started her own business in the year when 2020, everyone was, this is all about is giving positive women their roses because in the time right now, we need more people starting their businesses because, small business is where it's at, and this is what this opportunity is for. And especially when you're a mother, you sit there, you want to be that example for your young daughter. This is what the definition is right here. Starting a business in a scary time, but not being afraid. You gotta have that courage to get out there and do it. And also, one thing I love about this story is it was actually her husband who reached out, was talking about her business, so it just shows the family aspect of it. And she's nonstop grinding. She's promoting her food, and as we talk now, she's still doing the motherly duties, and that's what it takes to have a business, to have the full family background. So I just want to welcome you. How's it going?
Going great. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Always nonstop when you got a baby, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So first off, your story was straight from Johnson and Wales, and you just jump right into it, or did you take a break?
Yeah, so I graduated Johnson Wales 2012. I actually got in a whole year earlier. They have a program called early enrollment. So I was in my junior year of high school and realized I knew exactly what I wanted to do and decided during my senior year of high school.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This could be another special podcast. This is the Dad Podcast. Dad's here.
Like most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite the adjustment, yeah. But I love visiting back home and feeling the heat, which is probably why I got into culinary. I get to feel the heat in the kitchen.
I know 2020 was a terrible year for a lot of people. How was your family, immediate family, staying safe, and how was the year for you guys?
It's been good. I mean, it's hard for everyone. I was able to raise my daughter. I find that a blessing in disguise. Had her at the tail end of 2019 and was able to carry on and grow with my child over the last year. So even though with all of the heartache and things that were going on, I still had inspiration and something that was pushing me to be better and grow every day. So here we are, another year.
Another year, going strong, you're getting better. In 2021, you're starting your business and you're starting your catering. How scary was that to start a new adventure with everything going on?
I think for myself, above fear, it was kind of the idea that I couldn't stay stagnant. I think that's what helped me overcome my fear. Knowing right now that it's an overwhelming amount of people contacted me. It was kind of just a message out there like, hey, if anybody is looking for food, I know it's been tough out there, but I'm preparing foods. And little did I know, I mean, I got over 35 responses in the first day, a lot of them from moms, saying that it's hard. They have children who are doing distance learning, and then they have little ones, and they just can't find the time to cook for themselves while also carrying on with their lives. And, being in culinary, I've had this under my belt for almost 10 years now. So for me, it's not hard, but not only that, but I love it. I love being in the kitchen and feeling busy. And being a mom, I think, is what helped me realize, you know what, I can do this. Like, it's the same thing. She's like my little cook. She doesn't know it yet, but
yeah. Is she tasting all your treats out so far?
Oh yeah, she's constantly digging in the cupboard, looking for stuff, trying to help. So
yeah, one thing I gotta salute you on. So I seen one of the posts you had that you were making meal preps for. Was it your father's job or?
No. Oh, so was it the father and son who needed the donation? Yeah. So someone had reached out to me. I had worked at CVS corporate before, and she worked in the legal department. She reached out to me and said, I know that you're just beginning, but I feel like it would be really good exposure for you, but someone needs help.
Hmm.
And in my head, I was like, I can't say no to that. You know, I'm a
Yeah.
parent, I understand. And the story is there's a little boy that's out in Boston right now with his mom, and
Mhm.
he's spending the whole week receiving the first week of the next 18 months of treatment.
Oh
So
wow.
for him, this is just the beginning, and for his dad and his older brother, it's you know a time without a younger brother, and it's a time without their mom. So I'm trying to be there for them, even as a stranger. It's lending a hand. I think that everybody could use that nowadays. So
Definitely, definitely. I
yeah,
gotta salute you on that, especially someone
thank
starting off. It's like you're hesitant to do that, and
yeah,
just to, it shows the kind of person you are, and we need more people like that. Not just to give it back, but giving back to somebody and a cause that you don't even know the person. It's just being that light that they need and giving them inspiration.
yeah.
Where does that kind spirit come from? Is it something you just your daughter? I mean, I know your daughter gives you that light, but is there someone else that gave you that inspiration to be like that?
I think it comes from my grandparents. I was pretty much raised by all four of my grandparents. My mom was a young mom at the time, and all four of them were hardworking and really raised me to, lend a hand when it's necessary. You help your neighbor because you never know when you're going to need it, but it's that good karma that comes back, and even if it doesn't come back, you feel good about it in the time. So who cares if you get something in the end? That's not what it's about. It's about giving. It's about the feeling that you get when you give. So
So, yeah, I've been following your foods, and like every time I see them, I'm always at work and I'm hungry, and I'm like, oh man. I always see it as like a specialty when it comes to like the healthy aspect of it. Is that was something you're catering toward, or is that just what the person wanted at the time?
I think it started out with me doing healthy cooking in the interim um, of me working for Newport Restaurant Group and working for CVS. I worked at a gym. I worked at LA Fitness in Warwick as it was first opening, and I saw an opportunity there where a lot of people were going to school full time, working full time, and needing to um, have some meals prepped for them because they were strapped for time, and they were in the gym trying to work out if they were competitors. And so I saw the opportunity to feed them, and for them it was this health and wellness kind of cooking. So I was able to roll with that, but I'm so flexible. I mean, I come from a whole line of cooking for are we still on? Hold on.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I was like, oh my gosh.
No, sorry about this. I'm still getting used to this. All this Wi-Fi and the technology's terrible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you were saying about your grandparents?
So yeah, so my grandparents were the ones who really instilled in me to help out the neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've honestly been there ever since, just holding their words in my head. One of my grandfathers passed away, and he was definitely my first best friend, and he always just taught me to keep chugging along, keep hustling, like always work for yourself and your neighbor, and you just keep moving and keep helping everyone. So I've carried that on through life.
Now, what would you say is going to be your specialty going forward, or something that you want to your go-tos?
I would say, surprisingly, I'm finding out along the path that I'm getting closer and closer to my roots and like to my culture. For the longest time, I was cooking basic meals for anybody, kind of anything that they wanted. I worked at LA Fitness in Warwick.
Okay.
In the interim between working for a Newport restaurant group and CVS headquarters. And there is where I was able to really tune in on healthy cooking. A lot of fitness competitors were there working out, going to school full time, working full time. And for them, the last thing that they wanted was rubbery piece of chicken and flavorless broccoli, and they're eating the same thing every single day. And I know that that's tough, but that's why I went to school. It was learning about flavorless cooking and how you can make it better, and you don't need a ton of salt to make it taste good, although it will. But yeah, so I was able to get in on that. But now I realize that more and more of my cooking is reminding me of what was back home, being Filipino, and my grandparents always just kind of like going through the fridge, and my grandfather used to call it the kitchen sink. They had 5 kids, and they were trying to scrape by at the time, and he would just go through the fridge and see everything and make this big meal for 5 children and for him and his wife, only to realize that you could have luxury food from scrap, from nothing. And I think right now that's what I'm doing. It's home cooking, and it can be worth the while if it's if you have all the right tools. So
yeah, so my grandmother, when she's cooking now, she's 84 now, and we're trying to get her recipes together, and she's like, I don't know, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and there's no actually like teaspoons of this or teaspoons of that. So I didn't understand exactly what you mean.
That's definitely been the hardest thing, asking my grandfather, well, like, how many teaspoons is in it? And he was like, I don't know, a handful. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, that works. He's like, just do it to taste. And I'm like, all right.
So I know you made some special tacos for me, which other guys are jealous about. So what exactly are these?
So I did my take on Berria Tacos, which is definitely like a Tex-Mex Mexican kind of taco, where normally you have bones either from beef or lamb, and you slow cook it till the meat is just falling off the bone. You take it and you braise it in this consomme, and the broth basically has anything from tomatoes and chili de arbol and guajillo chilies, all kinds of stuff, garlic, onion, and it's just a pack and a punch of flavor. My take on it was actually using a recipe that I've had from my grandfather, and it's Filipino cooking. So we do something called chicken adobo, or normally it's pork adobo. And it's essentially the same thing. We braise it, but we do it in a soy and vinegar broth. And times are so much easier when you have an instant pot, because it took me 20 minutes where normally it takes about 4 hours. So I'm able to get really good shredded chicken, and with the sauce I was able to add some tomato paste and a few other seasonings and lots of black pepper and spicy long peppers to that. And then I did a side of the broth or the consomme, which you can dip the taco into.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm actually gonna do one here. We're now making dinner at the same time, so I like prepped out everything.
You can definitely see the kick definitely sneaks up on you.
Yeah. And that's the thing with me not using traditional ingredients. I was still able to, every time that I added something new to it, I'd be like, okay, I gotta taste this. And it's tasting along the way and finding that path and writing it all down and realizing that, it's innovation. It's coming up with new things.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody eats lamb, and especially now, a lot of people are so health conscious. So I think changing it to chicken is just as easy.
Now, have you having a lot of challenges with allergies and different health restrictions as far as for your catering?
So far, I've dealt with a couple of clients who are diabetic, and it's actually not in the meal prep line that I'm doing right now. The other line of products that I've already started distributing are actually lactation snacks. So for any moms that are breastfeeding, it's very easy for their supply to drop. And a lot of moms try to make it through the first year of feeding their child. So I'm there to help.
And nice.
One mom in particular who actually is diabetic. So many of the lactation snacks that I'm producing are, they're basically cookies or brownies or blondies. And a lot of that stuff she can't have. So I've been really conscious about changing the ingredients around and making it possible for her to enjoy them and to benefit and to be able to feed her baby. So this will be her second child and she's due in May. So it's been a work in progress, but I'm there for it. I want to help people. So.
Yeah, I know you was talking about the cookies. I actually pulled up. I'm not sure if you can see it, but these cookies here.
Yes.
You see these? I see those.
Those are the brownies. Yeah, I have. I'm running 5 different things right now, and the items range from regular cookie flavors, raisin, brownies, I have blondies and stuff. Yeah. So
oh yeah.
It's been an adventure. It's quality that's out there right now with any of my competitors. You have to pay for shipping. You have to kind of really go out of your way, and you're waiting that whole time. In my point of view, having been there, done that, I realized that as a mom, you don't have time to wait. You barely have time. So why not offer that to everybody who's, local, and eventually it'll grow, and one day maybe mom will be out there.
Now, has the reception been good for you as far as picking up with the moms in the neighborhood or in the state?
Yeah, within the state right now, I have, out of the 37 people who had first responded, I have about 24, 25 people who are staying on. And
nice.
We're going to be doing some samples coming up this weekend. So for them, it's a great opportunity to see if my product works for them. I've heard feedback already from about 5 other moms, and so far it's been pretty successful. So I already have clients who are ordering in bulk. It's recommended that they have 2 cookies a day. Some of them were eating the whole bag, and we're like, this is pretty good. Like, I don't see why I can't have more. So as long as it benefits, that's all that matters.
And if somebody's trying to reach out to you, what's the best way that they can find you?
Go to my page. So I am
Mhm.
on Instagram, and that's then connected to my Facebook. I've been receiving messages from a ton of different people, whether they are clients who are coming on for Lactation Snacks or for the meal planning, just kind of looking and seeing what's offered. So yeah, the best way would be is to just search for me on Instagram. It's Andy's Kitchen and Catering, and you'll find me there. I'm always
I
around.
have to ask about your Super Bowl platter you had. This guy here was it
Yeah.
when I first seen that. When I first seen it, I'm thinking Super Bowl. I'm thinking like wings, and I'm thinking like nachos. But then like so many people are going with the healthy kick, and it looks so good. What exactly was in there?
So I had a lot of the healthy stuff was actually for myself. I do a calorie deficit diet, so
Okay.
I only eat a certain amount of calories per day, even if I'm not doing anything all day. I can be sitting on the couch all day, and I'm still burning calories. So a lot of that stuff was for me. The rest was for my husband, and it's all about portion control. So I did some buffalo chicken bites. I did 2 different kinds of cheeses that actually my husband ate most of. It wasn't Gordon, but he ate most of it. And let's see what else I did. I did a crudité. So crudité is like veggie and dips. So that was good. And then I did. I always like to do like little pigs in the blanket, and that's
Yeah.
a super. I don't make the dough from scratch. Don't come for me. Don't come for my neck. But I get crescent rolls, and I put little hot dogs in them, roll them up, and it makes it easy. The whole platter was just for me and my husband, but I've hosted more parties that were much bigger. I've done catering for weddings that were over 300 people. So
Oh wow.
doing that
And it's
Super
just you by
Bowl.
yourself? Just
What's
you by
that?
yourself? Just you?
Oh, I had a team that I worked with at Newport Yachting Center. But
Okay.
in the small kitchen, there were maybe 3 of us that were
Oh,
able to pump out a lot of the stuff. We'd get some help from any of the other restaurants if they were able to. But it's very popular down in Newport. I'll say that.
now, hopefully, with the spring and the weather changing, like farmers markets and those kind of things will start to open back up. Do you have plans coming up for the spring, or are you sticking just for events and catering?
So yeah, I actually that's in the works. My big plan in the end is to get back to where I was. I have a team of a lot of people that I've networked with over the years, whether they are friends that I went to school with or peers that I've met along the way that I've just kept in really good touch with. I have a pretty big community of chefs that are out there, and I would really love to be doing weddings again. That is the big picture, but for now, it's good to stay small. It's good to stay local. There isn't so much of a big need for big wedding catering right now. But when the time comes, I'm building up to be ready. And a lot of my
Nice.
friends are excited to take that on too. So,
I know, like my nephew, he was thinking about going to Johnson Wales for pastry. He ended up changing his major afterwards, though, because he thought it was too hard to get into. Like, what do you tell that young chef that's trying to get in who's scared to like get their foot in the door? What do you tell that young person, give them confidence?
I would tell them, you know what? Be the best version of yourself. That's the only person who can. You're the one who's living your life. And the way I see it is you can either keep dreaming or you can live your dreams out. And
Nice.
that's what I think that I did. It's funny that you say that. I actually wanted to go into pastry myself, and
Oh,
the program back then was 2 years back, so I had the choice to go into culinary for 2 years and then switch my major. And after 2 years of being in culinary,